one of the best ways to lose weight is to walk, right? It could be around your neighborhood. We live in Chicago. It's cold. Cool. Go to the gym. Literally walk on an incline.
And we're live, Cuzzo.
All right,
Hit him with that intro.
Yeah, we're back at the Electives Podcast. Today we have another special guest, man. We have Mario with us. He also goes by Rio. We want to thank him for coming in and coming on the podcast. And we're just going to have a conversation, man, and ask some questions about fitness and everything that's health related. So I guess a good first question would be, when did you start your fitness journey?
Man, I started my fitness journey in like 2015, 2016.
Okay.
I've always been an athlete.
Cool.
And, I grew up playing basketball. I ran track. But I've always I used to watch like movies, right? And I would see like some of the guys ripped up or superhero. And I would just be watching and be like, man, like I know I got the work ethic. I just really don't know where to start.
Right.
Like you put a barbell on my back to squat. I'm gonna fold, or I'm gonna be like, it hurts, right?
Right.
Like I would just I remember being in high school and looking at the football players and like just thinking like, yo, these dudes are mad strong.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to get tackled.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay over here in the basketball court.
Yeah.
And be athletic.
That was me.
Right?
I got leveled in 6th grade.
Yeah.
On the football field.
I got leveled too.
Yeah.
We probably got like the same story, low key. But I had a guy actually. I used to work here in Aurora at Triple Threat.
Okay.
And my guy Alan Smith, shout out to Alan. Cool. He was one of the kind of lead coordinators over there. Mm-hmm. And he took me under his wing, and dude was like jacked. I'm talking like squatting like, no lie, like 570, 80 pounds at export casually for like 2 to 3 reps.
Wow.
So really, really like solid guy though all around. And he took me under his wing. And I remember like waking up early just to like work out with him. Mm-hmm. And I just followed what he did. Like, he showed me where to place the barbell on my back so it's not right on like the tip of my bone here. Right. He showed me how to bench press, how to engage my core, just things that I'm sharing with my clients now. But he showed me like the basics. And when I say the basics, he showed me compound exercises, the bench, the squat, the deadlift, right?
Yep.
Pull-ups, all those things. And he just rode this wave with me for like a year. And then eventually he ended up, meeting his now wife and moved to California. Cool. And, he has a family. He's doing his thing. But I feel like before he left, he was like, and here I leave with you.
Yeah. Right? He was handing you the baton.
The baton of fitness, right?
Yeah.
And so I took everything that he showed me and I just kept doing it.
Nice.
And then, not that I'm like the most rip or, jack guy, but I started to apply myself. And then people started coming up to me and they're like, hey, man, you look like you know what you're doing, right? And then I started writing plans for people just because it was something that I was passionate about.
Gotcha.
And then people started to really like the plans. And then, man, you fast forward, like I'm going to the gym like at least 4 to 5 times a week, waking up early on my own. I'm doing my thing. And I ended up graduating from North Central College here with my MBA. Was still actively lifting, bounced around gyms depending on what my schedule was. Sometimes I would export, sometimes I was lifting on campus in North Central. And when I graduated, I got a job in River North working for this company, got laid off because of COVID. So now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start doing these like virtual workouts. I felt equipped at this point, right? Like not just with lifting, but I was like, man, I can like lead group exercises too. Like that's where that athletic component kind of came in. And so I kind of blended both and started doing these virtual workouts. And then gyms opened up and I was like, I should get my certification. And then got that through NASM. And then next thing you know, Inspired by Rio was already like a thing, but it was like I was actually like certified. Gotcha. Went out, got my business license, all that. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, man.
Man, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So, what was Inspired by Rio initially? Like, what was that?
So, Inspired by Rio came into being. I have a friend. His name is Tommy Adams. Shout out to my guy Tommy. And we were lifting one day, right? It was like 6 a.m. And he was like, "Bro, you get up every morning, man. You inspired me." And he was already calling me Rio. So he was like, "You inspire me, Rio. you're inspired by Rio,
There
right?
you go.
And I was like, yo, what?
Hey,
And
that
so-
sounds kind of good.
Yeah, and so I just ran with it, and then I
Yeah.
remember changing my Instagram name. I was like trying to be all smooth. I was like, I'm no longer Mario. I'm inspired. And now there's people that see me and they're like, yo, Rio. People that have been calling me Mario for years,
Yeah.
right? Now they're
Yeah.
like, yo, Rio, or like there's people that actually think that that's my name.
Gotcha.
But I just like ride the wave. Or people would see me and be like, yo, inspired by. Hey, they go inspired by, right? They're just like, and I just play into it.
That's really
It's all
cool,
fun and games, but you know, prior it was just like a regular Instagram page with my name, and I wasn't thinking about starting or using that as like the just avenue for my business. I was just Mario. I had an Instagram account like any other buddy, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
but
Well, that's
then-
kind of like with our podcast. Like when we decided to come up with the Electives name, this dude literally called me. I don't even remember where I was coming from. I think this was around the holidays.
Yeah.
Right. So like we were doing some holiday shopping, and on the way back home, you called me and you were like, "Hey man, I just want to run this idea by you. What do you think about the name The Electives?" And the moment he said it,
Smooth.
I was like, "Ooh,
It's smooth.
I said, "That's the one." Because
Yeah.
we had other names before that, but
Yeah.
we didn't feel like. Well, I should say we felt like it kind of boxed us in a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
For me, I think my logo was something I used to play with like that, like inspired by. I kind of ran with. I was like Rio. But my logo was something that I kind of had the same experience as you guys, where I didn't want to box myself in, because I was like, this is going to like represent me, right?
Yep.
And you know, I've done different events where like my logo's on the banner, and I feel good about it now, right?
Right.
Like it took a couple tries.
Right.
You know, you ask your friends, hey, what you think
Yeah.
about this? No,
Yeah.
bro, this is fire, but this one. But then your other boys said that, you know, they liked the one that your other guy didn't like, and you just like, yo, this is my logo, and then you're like, man, I'm gonna do me, and
Right.
then you like, actually, I'm not.
Do me.
Mom, what do you think? Okay,
Yeah.
you said you don't like it. All right, like so.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had that same experience
Yeah.
from like a logo perspective.
Yeah.
Is now what is the Inspired by Real now? Is the brand
Yeah.
only fitness, or is now like you said, you don't want to box yourself in?
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. You know, I've had different experiences in my life regarding, you know, I was on this past season of The Bachelorette. And, you know, just I feel like I was able to network and meet a lot of people, and, you know, being a fitness instructor and being in that space. We in the Twilight Zone?
Yeah. No. Right.
Dang, that was tricky.
Just had to make sure that we were still in here. I
know, right?
Right.
Motion sensor.
Mario's gone, right?
Yeah.
I think like being in this space, meeting all these different people, like, you know, there starts to become like this, like, all right, what is my role, right? Like, who is Mario? Mario's a trainer, right? So like, how do you navigate, like, not even like trying to showcase that you're a fitness person, but I just was introduced to a whole nother world of like reality TV, working, you know, behind the scenes with different producers. And so Inspired by Rio is still very much fitness, but at the same time, you know, I think because of my experiences, I've had other outlets that I've been able to kind of showcase fitness in that your traditional trainer at a commercial gym wouldn't, or any person, because you know, I had the experience that I did. And so it's like fitness, it's like lifestyle too.
Yeah.
But you know, I think we definitely in the Twilight Zone.
Trippy.
Last time I saw
That thing's
Candyman, they
tripping
said
out.
that joint blink twice is a wrap, my
is
boy.
true.
That's twice.
Hey,
That is trippy.
if
I'm
that
about to
joint go
call-
off again, it's a wrap.
One more time.
Yeah,
we
it's
got
a wrap.
to
Yeah,
get out of here.
Candyman,
Candyman.
Oh, but that's what's up, man. I mean, because that's what I noticed when I was looking through your page. It was
Yeah.
like a lifestyle, like even though you are fitness, but you had some good videos in there, some good
Yeah.
content where it was like you had like a suit on, you were walking down the steps. I was like, oh, that's dope.
That was just during the show, and I feel like that was like a whole like wave where it was like, you know, I kind of slowed down with the fitness stuff because of where I was at. You know, I was on the show, and it was interesting. Even like people that follow me, right? Like they follow me because of the show, not necessarily because of fitness. Maybe some people did. Maybe it was like a blend of both. But like being a trainer, you know, you start to question like what your identity is as like a trainer. And you're like, all right, I was on this dating show. Like, why are y'all? Yeah, and I know, like, yep, it's a wrap. Hey, I told y'all the third time.
Before the light started flickering, we were
Before
talking about your
Candyman came
experience.
in.
Yeah.
Candyman.
We were talking about your experience on the
Yeah.
show and how it's changed your life, and
Yeah,
the
you know
way
what?
that-
And I don't even think it's really changed my life, right?
Right.
Like, I'm still waking up, you know, I don't got to Ferrari or Lambo in the driveway. I still got the Honda Civic, right? I'm still out here. I think what my experience did was that I built relationship and I made friends that I didn't have before, right? You know, I think that's the most fascinating thing. Like, you have these different guys across the country that, you know, all went through the same experience, but at one point we didn't know each other. And I know that sounds kind of like, well, duh, but it's like we were all there and now we're all like cool and we're always chopping it up and checking in on each other.
It's like a brotherhood now.
Yeah. And like, I feel like, you know, I'll be 33 in August, and I feel like eventually your circle's your circle, right? As you get older, you're like, I got my fam, I got my guys. You don't really branch out. So now I got like these different guys I kick it with from different states, right around the country. You know, you got my man Tyler and Avon in San Diego, right? You got my man Quincy in Connecticut. I got some guys, Nate, Spencer, Colin, here in Chicago, right? We all went through this experience. We're like, oh, you from Chicago, right? And like,
when's the last time you guys all like met up?
Man, I just did pottery the night before. It's actually really funny. Like, if somebody asked me what I did before the Ryan Tank fight, the boy was in Lakeview doing pottery.
Oh yeah,
nice.
With my boy Nate. Shout out to Nate. Like, he hit us up. Nate's kind of artsy, you know. He lives in Wicker Park, right? Whatever. No, but
he's better than everybody.
But he invited us to do pottery, and myself and the other guy from Chicago, Spencer, we went out, and it actually was really fun. Like, Spencer and I were gonna like leave early just because we were like, man, we gotta catch this fight. But you know, the fight didn't start till later, so we stayed for the whole time. But it was a vibe. Like, I actually sat through a pottery class when I was in that joint, molding the clay, right? Like, and I was like, yo, I'm really out here. The glass is there, people staring, like, yo, are these dudes doing pottery? You know what I'm saying? I just like,
that's a different experience, man.
Yeah, but we all kicked it recently, and then I haven't kicked it with some of the other guys outside of the Chicagoland area, but we do have an event coming up on May 6th. That's going to be like a Kentucky Derby / pop out to kind of help promote this startup of an app. So,
nice. Is that for like something you guys are doing together, or for Inspired by Rio?
So that's something that we're doing together. One of my guys just started up an app, shout out to Jake and Alec, called Empo. And it's very similar to Eventbrite, but it's like growing fast in Chicago. And so, you know, they just hit 10,000 users on the app.
That's dope.
They're killing it. So once they hit 30,000 users, that's when stuff can really start popping off for them. So, you know, the batch guys are coming together for them to like, you know, help support them, and we're going to do some sort of collaboration with them that can kind of give them more exposure and whatnot, and just
Nice, man. Nice. Now, does that? I would wonder. The question, I guess, would be good for them. And I don't know if you know this information, but like you said, 30,000 users is what they need to really start for it to take off. Like for us with YouTube, we have to hit a certain amount of watched hours. Okay. And then we have to have like a certain amount of subscribers. In order for like us to start monetizing the page, right? In a sense. Yeah. But like, I wonder what it would be like on the app side of it. Like, is that the numbers? 30,000.
That's the number. I think. To each their own, like, it's like different, but I know for them, they're killing it, man. They've made partnership with different restaurants, and you know, they've really proven themselves. Just even hearing their story on like how they ran beta tests in Phoenix on the app, and then they moved back to Chicago. Like, they were serious, bro, and they're young. They're like 24, 25 dogs.
It sounds like there's some tech guy, like just the guys like out in Silicon Valley.
Definitely the dudes that walk in and you like, oh yeah, you definitely work for Apple, and you probably like upper management. Yeah.
Probably
like,
drive a Tesla.
You definitely, like, if there's anything wrong with my phone, you'll be like, and then my joint will still be in my pocket, but it's fixed.
Right.
Bluetooth. You know what I'm saying? Right. Bluetooth. I did it with my brain. Right. Yeah. They want to know.
Yep. That's cool, man. That's cool.
Hey, so where's like Inspired by Rio going? Since like the show, because I mean there was Inspired by Rio before the show, and now Inspired by Rio after the show. Like, where's like now? Where you plan on going?
I think for me, you know, one of my guys asked me that the other day. I'm following my passion, and I think it starts there. Inspired by Rio, it's like work, but it's something I love doing. Like, I love working with people. I love training. Right. I'm a online coach as well, so I work with people through this app. And I have exercise programs and just different things. So, but I even on my own wake up in the morning and I work out, right? Yeah. So like, I'm doing these things, but it's out of something that I'm passionate about. It's something I'm passionate. And so, Since the show, my business has expanded to Chicago. Before, I had like one client in Chicago. Now I have a lot more because, you know, through me meeting this person on the show, they know this person, and this person needs a trainer, but then this person posts me their story, and then this person reached out, right?
Yep.
And so I'm training in like Gold Coast. I have clients in River North, Streetersville, where else? The West Loop.
Dope.
You know, I'm bouncing back and forth, and I've really set up a system to where I'm able to be successful and that it's attainable, you know. So
nice, man, nice. And like, what advice would you give to someone that's just starting out working out on why maybe they should hire a personal trainer? Because I think so. Like, I remember when I first started working out, and I mean, I was lucky enough, kind of like yourself, man, to have like a friend who was already in shape.
Right.
So he just told me like, hey, lift this.
Yeah.
Do this. This is the form that you need to have. Yeah. And I was able to improve my strength, you know, and make sure that I wasn't hurting myself or injuring myself. Yeah. But like for someone who, let's just say they're just starting out and maybe they've never lifted a weight in their life, why would you recommend hiring a personal trainer?
Because I think that form is so important.
True.
And I think like a lot of people might have some sort of understanding on like, all right, I'm gonna go to the gym. Like I would say the majority of people that go to the gym that don't feel confident around the weights, they'll stick by the treadmills, right? But what I have found as a personal trainer is that like when someone hires me, a lot of times they don't know how to strength train. Mm-hmm. They can go do this rowing class, they can go to hot yoga, they can go to Pilates. Mm-hmm. They do that because it's a group and someone is showing them, right? But if you were to actually go to the gym by yourself and I said, all right, let's get in a full body workout, and I give you 2 dumbbells, would you actually know what you're doing? And I would say for the majority of people, the answer is no.
True.
And so what a personal trainer does is it gives them direction, and it really, again, just to kind of circle back to this point, it shows them form and the importance of form.
Yeah.
A lot of ego lifters out there, a lot of people hurting their back. You know, I promote fitness. Not everything I do is necessarily an instructional video. I market myself as athlete. I try to do kind of some of the different things you saw because that's just like marketing. That's Instagram. But if I'm working with you in person, I tell people, you know, oh, I was nervous before I came in. I've never had a train, right? But, man, I really break it down step by step for people. I'm never going to have – I'm like, you don't got to jump over to her. That's just right.
Like you don't have them doing the stuff you're doing on Instagram like day one.
No,
like,
but
hey, hit the 60-inch box jump.
Yeah, but to answer your question, I would say the answer to that is form, man. Like form is so important, and assuming you have a good personal trainer that understands the importance and how to give you proper instructions for form, that'll be the biggest thing for you. That'll go a long way.
Nah, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does make sense. To add to that, so like personal training, do you have, is it like one formula for everybody? Or like if I walked in and he walked in, would one thing work for both of us? Or would you be like, nah, I have a different program for you and then a different program for me?
That is a great question. I'll tell you now, the majority of people would be like, oh, I would have something different for you and different for you. Mm-hmm. That's not wrong, but at the same time, I think I do have my set formula. As far as reps and sets go, as far as foundational exercises, when I kind of share my story with you about the guy that took me under his wing, he really showed me some of the compound exercises, right? We weren't doing 20 bicep curls. He's like, this is how you squat. The squat is a compound exercise. That means we're working more than one muscle group through the repetition. When I squat, a lot of people are like, legs, I'm trying to get big legs. Your core is engaged. Yep. Your glutes is what's known as the prime mover. So it's not even your legs that's pushing you up. It's this right here. If you got weak glutes, then you're going to compensate in the low back, right? Yep. And so if your core is not getting right, so I would have you guys
too, right? Because I mean, you gotta keep your back tight in order to get the barbell level.
Your back, up, like up, your calves, your hamstrings, everything is activating. Deadlift, that's known as the king of all exercises, right?
Yeah.
When you bend down and pick up something, that's the most functional thing you can do, right? Something drops down you. So, you know, that's something where you could really get injured, and you really have to be careful. And so there's different forms of this, right? Like, hey, say, you know, you were like, you know, I really don't feel comfortable putting a barbell on my back. All right, cool. Hey, let's do a dumbbell goblet squat, right?
Yep.
Comfortable with right there in your hands. You're not worried about the low back issue that you had from a couple years ago, right?
Right.
And even then you say, you know what? That still hurts. All right, let's put a bench behind you.
Right.
So now you're doing a seated goblet squat.
Right.
You have something to sit on, and you're still activating the leg. So yes and no.
Okay.
Like does like that like
yeah, that makes sense.
Makes sense.
You're meeting your clients kind of where they're at. Right.
Yeah, right.
And you're saying like whatever you're comfortable doing, right? Let's find something that works for you, because there's so many different ways to do an exercise.
There's so many different ways, and then we can talk about, isolating muscle groups by doing like single leg movements, single leg split squats. That's something that applies to everyone, right? Like we all have these muscle imbalances. So I think, man, like short answer is like, yeah, I would give y'all different stuff, but like if you really boil it down, I'm also like, not really. like
the ingredients are the same.
Yeah, the ingredients are the same, but like, the product might be a little different.
Right.
So, yeah.
Now, how is it like seeing the confidence grow on one of your clients, right? Because I'm sure when you first start out working with them, let's say they were afraid to use the barbell, right? But you get them to a point where they can do the barbell, and not just do it, but do it really well. Yeah. And then see them progress. How does that feel as a personal trainer?
That feels great. That's why I love it. I'm working with a guy right now. He's a doctor and family doctor, works with families, and put in work through school to get to the position where he's at. But I think he just got out of shape a little bit, and he just was wanting to get back. And I think he has a lot of people come see him with these different. And so he was like, "Man, I'm not trying to end up in a position of the people I see, pretty much." Yeah. And like he was like respectful about it. He wasn't like but he just was like, I prioritize my health. And so he just finished up 6 weeks with me. So I have different packages. Yeah. And so I usually change up people's program every 6, max 8 weeks, but like 6 is pretty normal. So his face is slimmer, people giving him compliments at work. I remember when we started doing goblet squats, he's a perfect example. Would never put him under the barbell, right? I'm like, hey, here's a dumbbell. Let's focus on keeping that spine neutral. Let's focus on engaging the core, firing the right things to make sure that when you squat. And he went from like 15 pounds, now we up to like 60 pounds, because you can naturally push more with your legs. So he's come a long way.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, because so I got a buddy that's
Talk to me.
Yeah, he used to be like a bodybuilder. So if he's watching this, shout out Tambo. Yeah. Cool. So we always talk because he likes to do the one body part per day.
Yep.
Right. So and I told him, I was like, he's like, that's what you should be doing, or that's what you should do. But for me, I don't have like, some days I can't get in there for 5 days a week. Yeah. So I'll do like either a full body or like an upper lower split.
Love it.
What is your favorite split, or what do you say is the best split?
I say the best split is the one that you can be consistent with.
I like that.
And your boy's a bodybuilder. What's his name?
Tambo.
Tambo was built to be. That name is bodybuilder.
He's huge.
If you told me Tambo was down the street, I'm thinking Tambo's a bodybuilder, my boy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll have to show you a picture of this
Tambo, just 6'5", bald head, probably like, or 5'3", bald head. Like, there's no in between, though. You know what I'm saying? There's no in between, my boy.
But he's solid. Either way, he's
solid. Like, he ain't walking through doors.
He
tearing the doors
He's
out.
Come sideways. He's gotta come in.
I say that to say, not even to get off track, but like, it's the one that you can be consistent with. For me, I lift every day. Or let me back up. I lift Monday through Friday. I take weekends off. Gotcha. Right now, my split is, I have a unique split. Some people do push-pull legs, right? Meaning like Monday they might do push, Tuesday they might do pull, Wednesday they might do legs. I do push-pull legs in one day. So for example, this is perfect. It's Monday today. This was my workout today. I did dumbbell sumo squats.
Okay.
So that was my leg movement. I did dumbbell incline chest press. That was my push movement.
Okay.
Weighted pull-ups.
Okay.
That was my pull. And then I do like a hinge. So I did dumbbell RDLs.
Okay. Yep.
Those are the foundational exercises. I do that in the circuit. That's push, pull, legs, hinge, all in one session. Right? I'm burning a ton of calories.
Yeah.
I'm targeting multiple muscle groups. And it's foundational muscle groups too. That I'm not just like doing 30 hammer curls, right?
Right.
When I do that RDL, my core, right? We talked about the muscles that carry over.
Right.
Icing on the cake. You do some calf raises.
There you go. Sprinkle it in.
Some low back hyperextensions.
Yeah.
you can go to the crib. No, we're gonna do some core.
Right.
Monday's over. Tuesday, I don't have to isolate arms and shoulders. Tomorrow though, like, you know, summertime's coming up. That's the one muscle group I do isolate.
Sun's
twice
out,
a week.
guns out.
Sun's out, guns out. And that's
Sun's out, guns out.
And that's something that I do twice a week. And for a while I wasn't even doing arms. Just because, you know, you work your arms when you are doing barbell bench press, any type of shoulder, any type of lifting of the arm, like your arms are going to grow, but I just wanted to isolate them a little more. So yeah.
Nice.
The one that you can be consistent with.
Nice. Now, how much do you have to eat in order to keep up with the calories that you're burning? Because I mean, obviously that workout right there, like I'm listening to it, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, dude, you got to eat quite a bit in order to keep up with all this.
Yeah. So it all depends on your goals. We can start there.
True.
Whether it's weight loss or build muscle, but let's say for me, I try to have like a lean aesthetic that is like, you know, got a little build to it.
Right. Because how much do you weigh now, roughly?
I'm like 180, 182, 81 around there. That's kind
Solid.
of where I sit.
Solid,
big dog. Solid. I'm just talking, but I think nutrition is absolutely important. Based on your goals, and so there's 3 macronutrients. We all know fats, carbs, proteins. The most important macro is by far protein. You know, a lot of people are protein deficient. They're not getting in enough. They're working out fasted, not because they're choosing to, but because they're in a rush, right? And then they're going to work. Man's got out pizza on the table, right? So you have pizza, and then, you know, you go pick up your kids from school. Little Johnny spilled his drink in the back seat. So now you were going to pick up dinner, or you were going to go to the store to cook, right? But now you're like stressed out. So what do? You go to B-Dubs, right? How much protein did you get that day?
Not that much.
12 grams of protein. And a lot of saturated fat, right? And so that was just like a example. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of people don't get in a good amount of protein.
That makes sense.
I think some people are scared of carbs. They really don't have to be. But there are some people that are overeating a ton, right? And so having nutritional direction is actually incredibly important. And I think that today people are realizing it more and more. Before it was just like, how do you eat? But now there's so many like fad diets. It's just like, we live in a culture today that wants it now. And they will do what it takes to cut corners. I'm not knocking anyone that does keto. I'm not knocking anyone that does intermittent fasting or some of these other things. But, you know, you want to do something that's sustainable.
True.
And for some people, they've been riding that wave and it's been working. But if you want to, like, eat something that you weren't before, like any normal person, I feel like, right? Like, then it's like your body's going to react to that because, you know, say you weren't giving it meat before, right? And you know, you're just eating whatever all the time. Like, your body's going to respond to that meat, and you're like, this is normal to eat. You're not vegan. You're just like, oh, let me get back on my normal way of eating. But now your body's like, well, I haven't had this in 6 months. And then you're like, why am I gaining this weight? Right? And so you want to do something that's like sustainable.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because that's what when we talked about it. So I showed my picture from like 2 years ago. I was like 165. So I dropped like 20 pounds after I bought like it was like a guide, like a recomp diet, recomp guide, and I just kind of, you know, tracked my macros and stuff like that. And it was crazy how protein deficient I was when I tracked. I was like, I'm not gonna eat like for the diet. I'm just gonna eat like I normally would, you know, pick up the kids, whatever. And man, I was like, I think I got like 80 grams of protein in that day,
that stuff is real.
Or 100. And then I was like, all right, so I'm gonna switch it. And then it was like, damn, I'm eating a lot. But then I'd be hungry again because of what you're eating.
It's really interesting with nutrition, man. My brand is in partnership with a certified nutritionist. Shout out to my girl Bethany.
Nice.
And, you know, she started off as my client.
Oh, dope.
You know, and she lost like 55 pounds with me.
Dang.
And so she was inspired. Come on,
good for her.
Inspired by Rio.
Plug it in. Plug it in there real quick.
She is now doing the nutrition for my clients. I kind of jump in there, but I let her do her thing. It takes, because I just work with a lot of people, and so sometimes balancing both. So she takes a load off of me as far as like the nutrition component, but I'm working side by side with her to really like tackle everyone's different needs. And there's always something like, you know, and there's different myths and different things that people think about nutrition. And really, like, I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, y'all just trying to cut corners.
Yeah.
Like,
no, yeah. Well, I mean, it's America, right? Like, like you said, instant gratification.
It was hard.
Everybody.
I ain't gonna lie. I was weighing my stuff. Like, I was weighing it. I was like doing it legit.
Oh, like weighing is, you know, I tell people like, I encourage people to just start off tracking. Weighing can be a lot, but there's some people that just want to dive in, and you explain them how to weigh your food, how to, you know, make sure you're getting in 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, right? Like, and how to track these things. And sometimes they're like, dang, I actually wasn't getting in enough, or, you know, they realize that they were protein deficient, but also they're just eating way too many calories.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
so
it too. Yeah. No,
yeah, it all comes full circle, man.
Now, how important is sleep? Because I think that people forget that too. You know, like your body needs to rest.
I feel like that there's been this, like, I tell people, just not even to like pivot away from this question, but like, you know, as a trainer, it's kind of like you take on the role of like a counselor too, and you hear about people's lives. I'm sure you do as like a barber as well, right?
For sure.
And so
for sure,
there's this correlation between like mental health and sleep, I think, a little bit, and just like resting and like where you're putting your energy and why you feel the way you do, right? And it's not just like, oh, like I'm tired, but it's like, all right, like I get it, like naturally we all can be tired, but like also like how can we better just the flow of your everyday life so that when you come in here, it's routine. And it's not just like, man, I'm tired, I got this session with Mario, but like a lot of the results you get is based on what you do outside of the session. So sleep matters, but let's go deeper. Let's be like, yo, where is your energy going? Right? And, you know, like, are you binge eating at night? Why? Right? How do your relationships look?
No, you're
I mean,
right.
like, not
there's
not
a
even
psychological
right.
aspect,
It's just like, are you, you know, I was in this situation, stressing me out, like, right? Like, you learn a lot about people, and I know that that's a little bit off topic, but it all flows together because when you come in, you know, I don't just want your session to be like, man, I had a lot going on, I broke a sweat, that felt great. I want you to be like moving in the right direction. And so,
and do you think that helps separate you from other trainers? Because some trainers just want, you know, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, but like they might just be thinking about it like, I just want the money, right? I don't care about this person's personal life. I don't care to see them grow as a human being. Like, just pay me and I'll be there. I'll give you the workout and that's it. I'll go home.
Absolutely. I think, you know, character matters. And a lot of training isn't just like, all right, here we go, Malcolm, we're going to do some dumbbell rows. A lot of it is like my energy, right? Like, being like, all right, Malcolm, let's do some dumbbell. All right, Malcolm, hey, you had a great set, man. Yo, you did 8 last week. We're going for 10 this week. Total different tone, right? All right, Mario. Hey, I did 8. Let's go. Right? Like, I mean, maybe that's acceptable.
No, but I get it, though.
I'm super, bro. I did virtual workouts all of COVID. I had my iPad set up, and we did our exercises, but I wasn't a camera like, yo, I was like, what you doing? I was like, Katie, what you doing? And she'd be like, yo, you can see me? I can see your camera, right? Like, a lot of it is like entertainment and not entertainment, it's energy. Excuse me. But at the same time, like, the energy that you bring is going to impact you know, a person's experience. Well, like if you're in there dry, it's just
well, let's say like somebody was having a bad morning, right, before their training session. This guy comes in for your training session and immediately changes their entire day with just the energy that you brought to it, right? So now they went from maybe having a really shitty day to all of a sudden now, man, they feel good about themselves. Right, whatever it was that bothered them in the morning, they probably forgot about it. Well, maybe didn't forget about it, but they put it on the back burner. Like, man, today's actually a good day, man. I got a great workout in. I feel good. I'm gonna eat right. Go home, rest, and wake up and do it again. You know?
Facts. And I think that that's like a real thing. And you just want people to feel comfortable. You want them to set themselves up for success, though. That's really what we're talking about.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break.
Cool.
All right, we back from the break.
Cool.
So, have you started with all these YouTube trainers? Right. Have you started your own YouTube channel and all that?
Man, yo, there's so much like social media out here. YouTube has been a staple for sure. That's probably one of the lanes I should have jumped in first. but I tell people I'm like, nah, I'm a Instagram groupie, right? Like just to be, but like that was like my bread, because I already had friends that follow me, and then like I just used that to like I just changed up my whole page, and I was like, I'm now Fitness Mario, right? And I did it early enough to where people just jumped on the wave. I dabbled in TikTok. I'm training clients throughout the day. I try to really produce my like real content for Instagram, because that's where people are, and that's where the most eyes are. But it's never too late to start. I'm like just thinking out. I'm like, man, I'm 33 in August. Like, it's just really competitive out there, and I'm not saying like I'm not willing to compete. It's just I think my focus has always been Instagram. But for people listening, you should absolutely be tackling and planning content for more than one social media channel. And I'll dabble in TikTok, like I said. There was a time period before Instagram where like, I was posting a lot of my stuff on Snapchat. Like, just whatever channel you got, put it out there. I still be camera shy sometimes. I think my biggest fault is that I'm not super consistent at times. Like I'm pretty good about like staying active to an extent, but sometimes I won't post for an extended time, or sometimes I'll go ghost on my stories, or I'll just share. And so, it's just a lot sometimes, man.
No, it is.
And I think like balancing out so many things. I literally run my business through like, I'll put out like Google ads and things like that. But like for the most part, my business has grown as a result of social media.
Nice.
And so like it can be a lot to juggle.
Now, how important is taking a break?
It's super important. Especially with social media, bro. Like you feel like sometimes you're not doing enough. And you have to like step back and realize who you are and what you've accomplished, and like that it's going to be okay.
Right.
Right. And that like
kind of reflect.
You're literally looking at a screen, and maybe like a video didn't hit like you wanted it to, right? Or maybe like your views are low, and you're like, the algorithm, right?
Yeah.
But
that's
it's
what
like
Malcolm says all the time, the algorithm.
I tell him, man, I'm like,
but then it's like, yo, what are you actually complaining about?
Right.
Like what are you actually like? I get it, but what are you complaining about?
Yeah.
So it's like, you kind of got to step back and reflect. And I still got to work on that. Even this week, I've been in my head just because I'm like, man, I'm putting out this content. I feel like Instagram shadow banning me. Like, I'm like, how come y'all not showing my stuff to, you see the like little percentage, the people of like your followers see it, but then non-followers is like 2.5%. You're like, y'all hate me for what?
Right, this isn't making sense.
I'm verified, shorty. What's that mean? You know what I'm saying?
Right. You see the check mark?
Right. Yeah, you see
check it?
I didn't buy it either, right? So,
yeah, man.
That's what's up, man, that you didn't have to buy it.
That's just because I was on the show, bro.
Yeah, but that's still pretty dope.
I probably wouldn't have bought it though. Yeah. But still though, it's
definitely dope. Yeah, you'll take it.
Now, did you notice that check mark changed a lot of things? Like as far as like Instagram goes, like
prior to
not having a check
other
mark.
people getting it.
Yeah, prior to being
so
able
like
to buy
all right, so like I went on the show and I had my experience, and not everyone got the check. It was something where it was like, you have to apply, and it's based on like how many times you've been published. So because like that first episode, I got the first impression rose, right? And I got like the first rose and first kiss of the season.
Damn.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about
He's
the
like,
kiss. We ain't gonna talk about the kiss. So people that are listening that watched the episode, they're probably laughing because like, we ain't gonna talk about that. It was super awkward, but anyway, like that's like a very notable rose that you can get during that show. It's like monumental, right? Like the first impression rose. And so July 11th was when the episode aired. July 12th was when everything was dropping. Who is Mario? Like Mario the trainer from Naperville, right? I was like in People. I was in like where was I? I was in a lot of different. Cosmopolitan did something on me. So
kind of literally like just catapulted you from just being
because it's like for that small time period, I was like main character type vibes. Just because you got the first rose. Yeah. Eventually the storyline changes, all that stuff. But because I had been published in so many things that first episode, as time went on, you apply on Instagram, and it's kind of like a little flex.
Yeah, it like definitely is like a little flex.
I tell people it's like a little flex. Like it doesn't define who I am by any means. I'm not out here like, shorty, I'm verified. So did it like
right?
Did it like change anything? Like Before the rest of the world got it, like
it probably changed other people around you, but it didn't change you.
Well, you know, maybe, I think that I remember like people were sending me screenshots of like me watching their story, and they're like, "Bro, you verify, right?" And I'm like, actually, it was funny how I found out. My boy, I didn't even know right away, and I guess like I applied and. Instagram takes time and they got to approve you. I didn't know. And then my boy was like, oh, this boy Mario think he doing something because he verified. Bro, I went to my phone so fast and I was like, oh my gosh, right? Like it's like all in fun, right? But now the whole world got it and it really don't even mean anything. So did it change anything? I think like for a window there were times where I was like sending DMs to like, if I knew like a celebrity was in the Chicagoland area and I'd be like, yo, you trying to train? And I'm like, there's a chance you might.
Right.
True.
Bro, I like somebody, like Chance the Rapper put on his story that he's looking for a trainer.
Yeah.
And I have a mutual friend that knows him. So I hit up Chance and I was like, yo, you trying to train? Right?
Dope.
And, you know, he never got back to me like that.
Dang.
And so
and Chance is a cool cat, man.
Yeah,
like,
he's
he's
cool.
pretty humble.
Yeah. And I mean, bro, like man's got like 20 million followers. I can only imagine.
How many DMs?
20 mil.
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, you think about people in your area and you're like, you know, like, even if I'm in the request box, at least they might see me and might open the joint.
Right.
You know, Drake might open your boy up. You know, Drake, you coming to Chicago July 4th. What you try to do? Yeah. Drake, if you listening, man, hey, your boy, bro, the session's on me. Pop out. We could do Inspired by Rio, OVO collab.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? You could bring the crew, bring 40, your producer, hey, the whole squad.
Yep.
And let's get it popping, man. We'll take you through some lunges. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Goblet squats. Goblet squats again.
Goblet squats.
Not the barbell, Drake. Hey, we're going to start you off with goblet. So, I'm
that's
just.
What's up, man. Now, do you ever get like recognized when you're out on the street?
It's like calm down.
Yeah.
I would say during probably like the craziest experience. So like, you know, post show, we have to wait till the show's over with to hang out, like all the guys. Mm-hmm. So when that got cleared, we took a guys trip to Nashville.
Oh, dope.
And like, you know, there's a lot happening out there. You could say it's like the bachelor capital.
Oh.
So like,
Nashville,
we're all bachelors. We're like, man, let's go outside. Let's kick it. Let's have a good time.
Outside.
We got we got an Airbnb, all that. Like, let's just go vibe, reflect, catch up on our experience, whatever. But then also just kick it. Yeah, drink a little bit, have some appetizers, you know, nothing crazy. So, like we went out there, and when we went out at night, obviously when we were in groups, people recognized us, right? There were times where I like split off from the group though, not intentionally, or maybe I lost somebody, or maybe I was in like the area, but I like took a different way and I knew that they were at this spot, or somebody texted me they were here. Bro, when I was in Nashville, I was walking and this girl stopped me. She was like, and like it happens in Chicago, but this was my first out of Chicago experience. Gotcha. It happened a ton in Chicago just because there's only like 3 of us, right? So they were like, aren't you the dude from the show? Like, so yeah, it does happen. But out of state was just crazy to me because like, she was like, yo, like you got the first impression rose from like, that's so cool. Can I get a picture? And I was just like, I'm like, yo, for like what it's worth, this is actually like super flattering.
Yeah.
And just like, and like, you know, she was with like 4 girls. So they were all like,
they all jumped
like,
in.
And like, I'm just like, like, and then I like to share my experience with people just to show that I'm like, not like, all right, shorty, thanks. Like, cool. Like, but I'm very this was my experience. Oh, did you watch?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this person is like this, right? Oh, I'm super cool with him. They're actually over here, right? Like, I like to really like be personable with people.
Yeah.
I'm by no means like a celebrity, or like I just went through an experience that was really cool.
Right.
And like for the people
and I'm sure
that,
you don't want to be treated any different either. Like
no, and like for the people
like
that watch the show, you know, The Bachelor's like this, like it's like a staple. Like before Love Is Blind, before Too Hot to Handle, F-Boy Island, all these shows, like this is like the OG.
Yeah.
True. Like I was season 19 of The Bachelorette, bro. Like
True.
The Bachelor is on, I think they're about to be on season like 28 or something like that, bro. So they did the time. You know, there's a lot of other shows emerging trying to compete, and you know, Netflix is doing its thing. We've always been with ABC and you know, kind of stuck to that road, but I think that for the people that are fans of the franchise, you know, there's some diehard Bachelor fans, to like be recognized was like a feeling. I was just sharing with a friend that like it's really cool.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just a great feeling. Sure. Like naturally you're just like, yo, you watched the show, you saw me.
Yeah.
That's dope. I'm Mario. I live in Naperville. That's cool. Like y'all saw me on the show, but I'm really just me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
just a human.
Y'all trying to take a picture? Cool. That's what's up. Yeah. I'm like, all right, bye. Like,
well, like yesterday, well, not yesterday, but we watched the fight. Where we watched the fight at, Danny Trejo was there. So,
okay.
Do you know who Danny Trejo is? No. So he's the guy from
Machete.
Machete is like his most famous.
Okay.
You would know him. Like if we showed you a picture of him, you would definitely recognize him.
Okay.
But he was there, and like I think you got a picture with him, and your buddy.
Me and my boy Shadez.
Yeah, and my boy. Yeah, and his boy Shadez got a picture too. But as he was going out, like to get into his car with his Uber, you know, everybody's recording him and taking like photos and whatnot. And I said to the group, not in like a disrespectful or anything like that, but I was just like, man, I would hate to be that kind of famous where I couldn't just.
Yeah, I don't know that type of famous.
Yeah,
for me, I would say at like the peak, bro, like being on the show, getting that rose, and being in. We'll use Chicago for an example.
Yeah.
Any you know, like you go to like Feds, you go to Blind Bar, like whatever you popping out with the guys, like people are gonna be, oh yeah, so then. Is that Nate Mark? Like, oh, is it Spencer? Oh my God, he's on the show, right? Like, and you peep it. You know what I'm saying? But you be like trying to be cool. Like I'm never gonna be like, oh yeah, girl, you see me? Like it's just a feeling you get, and you're like, I know you guys probably recognize us. Like it's cool, it's flattering, but I'm not by any means this guy Danny. But like I do recognize, you know, for the short time, especially now, like in the city, it's not really like people might really stare and be like, yo, weren't you on? But like. It's nothing like when the show was actually on and it's like airing, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a new season of Guys that'll be dropping in like they're filming now. So their season will be airing in July. So like there's already season 20 Guys about to pop off, and then before you know it, I'll just you know,
you're just
like,
another guy.
Yep.
So that's why I tell people it was an experience.
Yeah. For sure.
Like I wake up, I got the Honda Civic in the driveway.
Yeah. Right.
I ain't got the Lambo. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got
Not
the
yet.
Not yet. Ever see the Chevy with the butterfly? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet. Speaking into existence.
Did you think about after the show, like, man, maybe I can be a TV star instead?
Man, yo, this is a question about identity and who you are. And it like runs deep. The Bachelorette was an experience, and I have to just like when I was watching myself, I had a mixture of emotions. I remember like that first episode, I was like hype, but I was also like, ugh, right? Like I like wrestled with a lot. And so did I ever think I could be a TV star? No. I think for me it was a matter of like, how do I say this? Like it was a platform. You know, I went on the show with an open mind, but after I was like, I don't know if this is like fully me.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think because of the context of the show, I think that was my initial experience in shape of Hollywood or that like, you know, your boy was on for like 5 weeks, you know, of like 10. So, I mean, I made it like halfway through, maybe a tad bit over. And so, like, I think that everyone has a different experience. Some guys went further and they really were like thrown into the limelight a lot. But for me, it was like, I got my like 2 seconds. But from what I took away is like, I don't know, like a TV star, nah, but like, I think I could like pull things from it and kind of create my own lane. And I think that that's really what we're talking about, like based on who I am. As a individual.
Right.
Like you don't want to be on Love and Hip Hop or something like that.
No, nah, that's not really me, bro.
Yeah,
that's not me. I have certain values and morals that I try to conduct myself by to where it's like, you know, I think that shows like that would put that in compromise. Yeah. And so I think for me, like, you want to stay in your lane. You know, you want to dabble a little bit, try to give a little shoulder groove a little bit, right? And other like a little shake and bake. But at the same time, like, it's a matter of like, who are you? Right. And what direction do you want to go? Now, and how are people perceiving you?
Right. Now, at the age that you're at, because this is something we talk about a lot, is being in our 30s. life has definitely slowed down for us, right? You're not as maybe like in your 20s, man. I think you don't really know who you are, right? So you're trying to figure it out. You're hanging around different crowds of different people to really kind of see where you fit in, right? But when you get to your 30s, man, you're more like, no, this is who I am. People are going to like it or they're not, and I'm okay with that, right? So do you think that being at the age you're at and having the wisdom in some of these experiences has really helped you stay more grounded and stay more humble after an experience like that?
Both. I would say, like, on the flip end, like, like, I've been through an experience that a lot of people will never get, you know. True. But at the same time, with that comes, like, responsibility of how you conduct and how you go about what you went through and how you use that to communicate with others. And just, like, I don't know how to say, like, I'm trying to figure out a good way to say it. There's responsibility that you have based on your experience. Yep. And so, like, you went through what you did. Now, what are you going to do with it? That's really what we're talking about. Right. And, like, I was on, like, a reality TV show. I'm like, am I out here, like, no, I'm just, like, I'm still Mario the trainer. This was an experience. We could talk about it. Like, I pulled things from it. But I feel like at the core, it's like, that's all it was, right? And it was great, and I made a ton of friends from it. Still talk to some people that were behind the camera, said to right, like, you know, there's pros to it, but then on the flip end, it's like you have a responsibility with that a little bit. So
for sure. You know, because we're getting towards, like, the end of the interview.
Yeah, you're good.
For you personally, how do you feel about breaking down when it comes to personal training, explaining to someone the differences between, like, body types, right? Because you have your, I believe it's ectomorph, endomorph, and mesomorph, right?
I don't even go by that.
No, really. Now, do you think genetics factor in?
So bro, honestly, like, we can get, I think, you know, when you're studying for, like, your, you know, they talk about the ectomorph and like, all right, this person body, like, that's science. Like, those things are very real and right. But after a while, man, you can kind of just pick up on, like, what somebody's telling you. Like, man, you know, I sit a lot all day. I'm not getting in. Like, it's more so about, like, what actions are you doing? Right. You know, I remember when I first got certified, I was like, there's this overhead squat test that you have to do before you work with a client. It's like their arms above their head, and like, if their arms are here, it's like their shoulder mobility is whack. If their hips aren't going back, all right, they might have a pelvic tilt. Like, there's just different things. I'm not saying that those are incorrect methods. Those are correct, but after a while, man, you find your own style. True. And you're just like, who are you? Okay, you're a truck driver. You're sedentary. You sit all day. Your low back probably lit. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yup. And so that means, like, if you're sitting, you're not using any lower body mobility. You say you drive for 7 hours a day. Okay, so your glutes have no pop, right? Like, so there's just, like, I don't know. It's like, like, you know, you can break it down, but, like, I feel like you're gonna lose people like that. People just want help, and, like, true. There are people that can communicate the things that you just said in a way that's, like, but I feel like even the other day, one of my clients was, like, asking me about a step up. And I was like, all right, well, when you put your foot on the bench and you push up, this is known as the concentric part of the exercise. All right. And then as you come down, that's known as the eccentric. And so you really want to focus on that eccentric and make sure that leg, when you come down, is nice and tight. And I thought I communicated it so well. The next time she went, she goes, okay, so, like, what do I do? And I'm like, girl, put your foot on the step. And then she was like, okay, thank you. Right. Go up and come back down. So, I mean, you know, like, there's, like, terminology, you know, there is a time and place for that. But, man, we just trying to get to the nitty gritty in a way that's the best approach for you. I'm not talking about, all right, we just gonna throw you in a squat rack. Right. But what I'm saying, the terminology, trying to just be, you know, Mr. Know-it-all. It's important in the right context. Right. If I'm talking to a trainer, I'm talking about, they're gonna understand the lingo. Right. If I'm talking to homeboy that I'm training, he gonna be like, I need to lose 30 pounds, and you over here talking about concentric and eccentric. You over here talking about time under tension. My lats. What? He was like, bro, what do I got to do? All right.
What do I got to do to look like you? That's what I want to
know. So there's, like, a balance there, right?
No, it makes sense, man. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. So as we get towards the end,
talk to me.
For beginners, somebody who's trying to train, because I watched a video and I was waiting to ask this to you. So it says 95%, I think, of males who are turning 30, who are going to be 30, they won't ever sprint or sprint, do any kind of physical exercise for the rest of their lives.
That are going to be 30?
That are 30 and then past 30. It said 95%. Somebody on TikTok, I don't know if he's a trainer or something, he said 95% of 30-year-old males won't be doing that after they turn 30.
There's probably a lot of truth to that. That sounds about right. I'm like, man, I'll be 33 in August. Like, obviously, this is what I do, but I'm just thinking about the average person. You know, by 30, just assuming you went the traditional route, to school, got a job, probably settling down. You might have a kid now,
wife,
maybe,
kids,
or if no kids, you got one on the way, or you just married.
Right.
You kick it with the guys. You go out to eat. You're social. You're kind of just occasionally, you know, you might pop in on the elliptical, on the Peloton.
And it's also the country we live in too, right? Like we're the most out of shape country.
We are for sure.
In the entire world.
You know, there's some truth to that, right? Give or take.
Right.
But like across the board, you know, occasionally you might get the half marathon guy in there, right? Man, I'm gonna train for half. Like that's something that's a
David
thing
Goggins.
too,
Right.
Like where it's like I think everybody might have their like Rocky moment where they're like, hey, I'm about to run this half marathon, or maybe that's way too much. Man, I'm about to do this 5K, right? So it's like, but across the board, yes, I would say like, you know, why do they need to be active, especially if they're set like,
So what would you say for like people like that, where they're like, man, I can't be in the gym, I don't like going to the gym, I'm intimidated. What would be the best way to get them going, get that car moving,
that ball rolling?
Yeah.
Think about your health. Think about your future, right? Like, hey, got a great job, wife, you're doing your thing, you're settled. You ain't trying to impress nobody.
Right.
But what about 20 years from now?
Yep.
Right? Let's say that they're 30 when they're 50, right?
Yep.
50 still
young.
Respectfully, young.
It should be.
Like,
it
right?
should be. Yeah.
But like, let's add another 10 years to that. What about 30 years from now, right?
Yep.
You know, it's never too late to get started, but why get started when, you know, like there's some stuff going on that could have been. I promise you, the people that are like, the people that are actively getting up every day to work out.
Right.
I love the morning crew, so that's where my mind goes because I'm a morning guy. If you work out at night, you're still out here doing your thing if you work out during the evening. But I'm just saying, like, man, there's no better feeling than getting up at like 6, 7 a.m. and getting after it. So it doesn't matter what time you work out, but what I'm saying is like finding that routine. Yeah. And so, you know, if it's not a part of you, it's going to be a lot more difficult when you're – so, like, make it simple. I tell people, like, you know, one of the best ways to lose weight is to walk, right? It could be around your neighborhood. We live in Chicago. It's cold. Cool. Go to the gym. Literally walk on an incline at 3 miles per hour. Put it to like a 7 incline. Go for like 20 minutes at least 3 times a week.
That's not bad. That's easy.
That's easy.
And that's realistic.
You're getting in your steps 3 times a week.
Yeah. You can do that.
Little Jimmy's in choir.
Right.
You know, he's playing the saxophone.
Yeah.
6th grade. Drop, man, cool, I'm going to be over here.
Yep.
You get in, oh, you done? Daddy, you're sweaty, right? It's just you know, Dad put in that work, right? It's just like,
and it's also, too, like, we make time for the things that we want to do.
Come on,
Malcolm. At the end of the day.
Right.
Come on, Malcolm.
People will watch TV. They'll sit there and binge watch episodes of whatever for hours, but they'll say they don't have time to go to the gym. Right?
People make time for what they want. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's just the direction.
That's why I had to put the gym in the basement, man, because I hated going to the gym.
Nah.
Yeah.
I hate it. But now I just walk down my stairs.
Do you feel like that you use it though?
Yeah, I use it. Yeah, I use it like 4 times a week.
I love it.
4 times a week I try to get down there.
More than
and then
enough.
There's obviously some weeks if I got basketball or something, I'll get in there twice.
Yeah.
As long as I get up in there.
And something you said earlier too, man, made me think about like conversations that I have with my customers because I'm in a service-based industry too, right?
Yeah.
So I have a lot of my customers that they'll come to me and they'll talk about my fitness. Like I was in really, really good shape in 2021, I'd say.
Malcolm was
around
huge.
there. I was really putting on like solid muscle. I was on it, man. I was getting plenty of rest. But at the time, like, and this isn't like a bad thing or not, but I wasn't in a relationship. I was single like yourself, man. So I had all the time in the world.
Yeah.
You know, and I can still do it now. I'm getting back on it. Like I'm getting back on track. But my customers will tell me like, man, I just don't know what it is, Malk. Like I can't get in that. I can't do what you did. I can't lock in like that because I just flipped the switch. I said, you know what? This is what I want. This is what I want to do. Yeah. And I know it's going to take a lot of time, but I'm willing to just get the ball rolling on day one.
Yeah.
And something that, and I don't want to say his name because if he's watching this, but the guy that I thought of in his life, man, he's on top of everything else. I mean, this guy's never late to an appointment.
Yeah.
He started his own, he told me it was in 2020 after the pandemic. He told me he's going to start a business in a year. He did that. Right? He's successful. He's married. His kids are all older. Every part of his life is in order except his health. Yeah. And I told him, I said, bro, you have everything, but what does that mean if you don't have your health?
Yeah.
You know, I don't, and I tell him, man, I would hate to see something happen to you, or I would hate for you to go to the doctor and then tell you that you have a serious illness.
Yo.
And now, you know,
I have a friend. Well, he's not a friend. He's my cousin, but he reached out to me. There's a guy he works with that just doesn't take care of himself. And he was like, can you make him a plan? I'll pay you. I made this man a plan. He passed out at work.
Wow.
And he's good. He's alive. But like they had to get them like in the midst of like I had just sent him the plan. The next day he literally fell out. And I guess he like, you know, he smokes a ton, cigarette, like just like a lot of different things, drinks a lot. And it's just but he kind of tried to make something happen for him, but like right in the middle. So like, yeah, that stuff is real.
Yep.
And like your health is like the body that we're in.
Yeah.
This is everything. This is our vehicle.
Yep.
I'm gonna go walk to my car after this.
Yep.
Right.
But if I'm like out of breath, my ankle, like we gotta take care of our bodies. So
no, it's true, man.
Yeah,
it's true. Like the parking garage, if I park on the third floor or the fourth floor, I'm always taking the steps. I never take the elevator.
Yep. Yeah.
But that's just something that like
that's one of the main things I tell people. I'm like, at work, you ain't taking the elevator no more. You taking the steps.
There you go.
I remember at North Central, man, the steps, bro, and that one of the buildings, bro.
10,000 easy.
Bro, I was in shape, and I'm in the top of that joint.
Huffing and puffing? Yeah.
I'm like, hey,
yeah,
I got to graduate. Gee, I got to get out of here. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, man, we appreciate you coming on the show, man, giving us some knowledge, some insight. Yeah. Your story's pretty dope too, man. You've had a lot of cool experiences.
It's still going. It's still,
this is just the beginning.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they say. That's what they say, right? Yeah. It's just the beginning. Yeah. Man, I feel like it's the middle. You know.
Do you feel like you've Do you feel like you're entering your prime?
Yeah. Man, I would say at 32, I feel. I mean, just based on whatever you base prime on, like I feel in shape. I feel equipped, knowledgeable. I feel like I've learned a lot about just the business and how to like go about things. And there's still always room to grow, but like
for sure,
I feel, you know, as somebody, not even to like compare when I look at people, I'm like, all right, like you ain't doing too bad, you know? What I mean? So, man, but I would hope I have the same energy at 38, 39, where I can like, I'm thinking about it from like a physical aspect when I see like a tennis court. I'm like, I'm about to jump over the net all vert, right? Like I still wouldn't be able to do that, right? Like there's just so but then from a knowledge aspect, I think that there's still a ton of room for growth and things that I can learn.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we didn't even get to dive into that, so that's the dope part. Well, next time we come, we have another show, man. We're gonna be able to dive into that.
But that's sort of like what we were telling you too before we started shooting is now we've shot like I don't know how many episodes, but the conversation just starts flowing. Time goes by like that. You know?
Yeah, and it's gone by quick.
Yeah, but we'll do a part two. We'll do a part two, you know, later in the year or next year, man. And we'll ask you some more questions. But
where can they find you at? So that way we can put it on there.
Man, my Instagram handle is Inspired by Rio.
Okay.
My website is inspiredbyrio.com. TikTok, you know, for the few times I posted on there, Inspired by Rio. But yeah, Facebook, Mario Vasal.
Nice.
You can put all this stuff in there.
And that's where they can book stuff for you and everything like that.
Booking is going to be inspiredbyrio.com. You can slide into DMs.
Slide into DMs.
You can go to my Instagram link tree, set up a consultation call, all that.
Cool. Solid.
Awesome, man. Well, once again, we want to thank you, man, for your time.
Thank you
more
for
than anything.
Me, man. Honestly, this was great. I had fun.
Dope.
Sharing, and hopefully the viewers out there were able to pull something from my story.
Dope. Now, I thought of something that I want to try this out right with our guests.
All right, let's try it out.
I want you to give us one name of a person that you think would do good on a podcast, or that would like to come on a podcast.
Like anybody?
Anybody. Yeah. That you would recommend, right, to come on something like this.
Yeah. I was just talking to my guy Quincy. This is really random. Quincy did the Bachelorette with me.
Okay.
And he was sent home like a week before me. People don't really know how funny he is, though. Like, this man was the funniest man from our season.
Okay.
By far.
Pure comedian?
So, like, pure comedian.
Cool.
And I feel like, he's not really getting as much love type thing.
Gotcha.
And Quincy needs a mic, and y'all just need to talk to him.
Just let him flow.
Let him flow.
Just let him flow.
We have to get Quincy on here.
All right, Quincy. So if you're watching, Quincy, man, we're gonna reach out to you. We're gonna hit you up somehow, some way, man. We'll try and make it happen.
He's actually coming in town May 6th for that event.
So maybe we'll be able to make it happen.
Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Yeah, Quincy's really funny, bro. Like, by far. Okay. Our season was shot on a cruise ship, and we were like on this cruise ship traveling, and so he was just so entertaining.
Dope.
And,
that's what's up, man.
It's not even just about getting love. It's just like, bro, Quincy's a funny dude. Y'all need to have him on.
Dope.
You know what I mean? Like,
dope, man.
Sure, man.
Dope. Well, all right, man. Let's hit him with the outro.
Hit him with the outro, cuz.
We want to thank you guys again, man, for tuning in, for watching and listening. Once again, we want to thank Mario for coming on. We also want to thank our good friend, because obviously you guys can see we're shooting in another different space. Our friend Shelby Anderson over at the Artisan Gallery down here in downtown Aurora. For letting us shoot in this space. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. As always, peace.
Appreciate it, guys.